Hi, this is Trinesha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about lonely. So, when you're watching this video, it's gonna be like weeks from now, but today is the Saturday before Valentine's Day, and it started making me think about how some other single women could be feeling, or how it feels at moments when you are single. And I wanted to be real and transparent because I know, like, when you see me on here, you see me talk about like being brave and how I love being single, and I do love being single. But that doesn't mean that I'm not like a person who desires like companionship, or who desires to be with someone else, or who has moments sometimes where I'm going to an event or somewhere and I'm like, oh, it would be great to have a person to go with me to that thing. But I just want for the single women and for women in relationships, because I know how it feels to be in a relationship, and sometimes it consumes you. Sometimes you kind of forget about yourself and you start to cater to the other person, or you start to put all of your needs and wants like on the back burner because someone else is a part of your life. And it's not that you do this thing intentionally, it's because you care about the other person. And eventually you realize that you haven't filled yourself up, that you've been pouring so long that you're empty. And so I just wanted to say that, because when I'm on here and sometimes God will say, look at this or something, and I say things that stand out to me, or things that I don't want to be misconstrued, or want people to think that I'm this perfect person who never ever, feels like any type of, being alone or anything like that. And or has like some thoughts about like wanting to be in relationships or whatever else. Like, I have those thoughts every once in a while. And I just want for any person that's single to just remember that you are alone. You're all in one, but you never have to be lonely, because God will always be there for you. And I know it sounds corny. I know it sounds cliche, and you're probably thinking like, "Oh yeah, I know God's going to be there for me," but that's different than having another person with you. Do you desire God above everything else, or do you desire this relationship above God? So today I went somewhere, and I'm not gonna say like no one complimented me or anything like that, but no one asked me out. And I know you're probably thinking like that really doesn't matter. But I'm saying this because I want to prove a point. And I just want to allow you to see a little peek into my life. So, there were people that like said stuff, like, oh, you look nice or something like that. But no one asked me out or anything like that, like they usually do. So, but I only went one place, and I was kind of in a rush because I had to get a couple things and then head back home because I took a class today. And so this is just what I threw on after class, before and after class, because I do this class where you have to like wear certain stuff and everything. So I had to change back into well, I had to change into this. I had a different outfit on earlier. And so so I'm out and about, and I'm like, oh, it's weird. This is like the first time that I haven't gotten hit on when I've been somewhere. But when I was, the place that I went, it was like everybody was a couple. I was the only person who was by myself. And so I was like, okay, maybe not, maybe I don't take a class like this on the weekend before Valentine's Day. Like, maybe that's like the thing. And so I was just like, oh wow, it's like completely different. And then like as I look around, I could hear like the adversary trying to say things like, "Oh yeah, you're all by yourself," and I'm like, "Yes, I am alone. I'm all in one." Like, and then like I listen to a lot of gospel music and sermons, so the gospel song that came on said something like, "God can change any situation and turn it for His good, especially when it's benefiting the kingdom," or something like that. It wasn't those words; those are my words, but it was similar to what I'm saying. Like, it's just a whole nother, it was worded differently. And so, and it really made me think, like, God flashed this thought in my mind as the adversary said that, and the song came on that made me think about God changing different situations. And I don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 days. Like, anything could happen. I could meet someone in 3 or 4 days, or I could be single in the next year. Who knows? Only God knows. And it's so funny because I will meet people, and they barely make it past a week. Like, they don't. And At first I was kind of like, oh man, maybe I should just be the type of person that settles. Maybe I should be the type of person who just accepts anything, accepts one of these random people that I really don't like that, or something like that. And I know it's real harsh for me to say that, but seriously, like we have those thoughts. I feel like guys and women both have those types of thoughts because it's just human nature to want to be, you know, have companionship or have like another human life that you are engaging with in one way or another. And so, like, especially since like the 19 happened when people were, alone in their homes and stuff like that, like people desire to have other people to be a part of their lives. And you could say, oh no, I like being by myself. You do. I like being by myself too, but I also like being around other people as well. So it's not just like, oh yeah, I'm all by myself. I'm good. Like, yes, I'm good. Yes, I have God, but it is so good and it's so important to have other people in your life. That's why God places people in your life because he knows that it's not good for man to be alone. And I know some people will say, yeah, it's just men, like the male species. But I really feel like all people desire to have communication with other people, to have like another human being around them or someone around them that gives them comfort or allows them to feel like they're connecting in one way or another. And so I only say that because when I talk on here and I talk about, like getting hit on things like that, I feel like people think it's just like this only good thing. Like, oh yeah, it's so great. You know that you're desirable. I don't need these other people to tell me that I'm desirable. I'm desirable because I work on myself, because I care about my fitness, because I work on myself from the inside out. I had to say that twice because I need to make sure that I elaborate in saying that I don't just want to look good on the outside. I don't want to just, you know, have my hair look nice or have on makeup or, wear some kind of cute outfit that's trending or in fashion. And then on the inside I'm broken and I'm heartbroken and my heart is not where it should be. My soul isn't being fed with the Bible or something that's going to really nourish it and allow it to be able to be healthy. I don't want to go around looking like the finest thing that could ever destroy things. I want to make sure that I look good from the inside out. I want to feel good from the inside out. I don't want to just like getting compliments is good, but what about my personality? Like and no, and this made me think about this one show, but it's so true. The guy on the show, he was like, yeah, nobody's saying, oh yeah, I was so attracted to your personality, so I decided to come over and talk to you. But yeah. So, anyways, the point of the story is I was out today and I didn't get hit on. I did, have people say, oh, I like your outfit or something like that, or, some sort of compliment, but no one, asked me out or anything like that. And so, and okay, some people are going to say, well, they said you look nice, so that's kind of like a hit on. Okay, but listen, people are just nice sometimes like that. Sometimes that means absolutely nothing. That's just people being nice, saying things. That doesn't mean that they're interested in you just because they say you look nice. They could just say that because they're a nice human being. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. Also, as I was sitting in the car and I was just thinking, like, wow, okay, this is the first time. And then God said, that's not the point. The point is for you to understand that regardless of what happens around you, that you still have me. To stay focused on me in this season of your life. Don't be so focused on, someone else or something else, the money, all of these things that, we usually try to focus our mind on instead of focusing on God. And it's so weird because we will focus on, oh, we got to get the bag, we got to make all of this money, and if we focused on God, God would provide all of our needs. So what are we really doing? We're doing all of that for nothing. And even when it comes to people, we go out of the way doing the most, all of these different places, burning gas, going around looking for these people who, who either, I don't want to say do or don't want you, but we are doing all of these extra things, doing the most to try to make something happen that's not God. And I don't mean that you should just be in the house and God gonna send a person to you. We're not gonna get on that story. I'm not gonna bring that back up. What I'm saying is you still should be other places, but you don't have to do the most. You don't have to be breaking your neck and twisting your ankle because you're wearing like 6-inch heels because you think that's what's going to attract the guy. Like, you need to just be yourself. Be the best version of you. And I know you're probably like, how could you say that? And you're not with anybody and you've never been in a healthy relationship. I understand why you would judge me like that so harshly. But listen, if it would really suck, in my opinion, if you meet someone with the 6-inch heels being somebody that you're not, and then you meet this person and you spend a year in a relationship only for them to find out that you're not like that at all. And then you're wondering why the relationship didn't work out, or why you can't really get to know the real them, because they don't even know the real you. They can't open up if you don't open up. And I'm not saying you should be an open book and not guard your heart, because that's biblical. Like, you should always guard your heart at all times and at all costs. So it's really important for you to be yourself, be genuinely yourself, be humble, you know, be sincere, be godlike, be Christ-like. I don't know why I keep wanting to say godlike. Be Christ-like. Allow people to see the genuine side of you, the humble side of you. Allow them to see, like, yes, you're beautiful, but you also are intelligent. Allow them to see, like, yes, you do love fashion, but you can also, like, go ride a dirt bike or something. Or you can also, do whatever the things are that you like to do, that's physical activity, like hiking or whatever else it is. Like, you might love to wear heels. Just because you love wearing heels doesn't mean that you don't have a pair of lows in your closet, or a pair of Timberlands, or some Chuck Taylors or something, like, you just have to be the best version of you. And if God is providing all your needs, this hasn't happened to me, but I know a God who can do the impossible. Anything is possible with God. He is the God of abundance, so he would never ever put me out here and be like, oh no, I said that you're going to be with someone, but let me go ahead and just torture you. He's not trying to torture you. He's not making you wait because he wants you to lose faith. He's making you wait because either you're not ready, you have things to do in your life, or you have to be a certain place in order to meet that person. It's funny because this one pastor's wife always talked about how she met her husband and she was serving in her purpose when she met her husband. She had met some guy, she really liked him, they had a lot of stuff in common, and she just couldn't understand why they weren't working out. And eventually, he just kind of ghosted her. And after he ghosted her, she was serving, she was doing the things that she needed to do, that the places God told her to be. And at this event, her husband comes. She doesn't know it's her husband at first. She uses discernment and everything else. And now they're married. They've been married for like 15, 20 years or something. And it's because she was obedient to God and she was where she was supposed to be. If you are focused on God, God will provide all your needs. If you want to be married and God is saying you're going to be a person that's married, he's going to introduce you to your spouse at the place where you're supposed to be. You don't have to go all of these places where you don't belong, where, it's just uncomfortable for you being there. You should get out of the house and try new things, but do healthy things. Do things that are good for your body. Do things that are good for you. And God will eventually allow the person to see you. It'll be a person who can actually see you, not someone that you gotta convince that you're a decent human being, not someone that you gotta convince that they should give you their time, not someone that you have to be like a fan of theirs in order to be able to be with them, not someone who drains you dry because they need so much attention that they aren't willing to give you any attention. It will be someone who is really about that life, someone who is really for you, who cares about your well-being, who is equally yoked. And you won't have to convince anybody of anything because they will be exactly where they're supposed to be. You won't have to be in competition with a whole bunch of women. And for men, you won't have to be in a competition with a whole bunch of men because that woman will be for you. You don't have to do the most to get something that God has for you. You don't have to show up different places trying to make yourself seem like this person doesn't already know what you look like. You don't have to try to text this person and see what they're up to try to convince them that, hey, pay attention to me because I think you forgot, but I'm over here. Like they know that you're there. You're just not the person for them. And even though it sucks and even though it hurts, it's okay. Because the person who is for you is going to notice you. They're going to see you. You won't have to be doing the most to get their attention because they will want to be focused on you because they will be interested in you. And I know it really sucks, especially with the world and society saying, yeah, go ahead, do you be aggressive and do all of these things out of the way to get someone. Go ahead and fight with this other woman for this one man, which doesn't want either one of you because if he had any respect for you or the other person, he wouldn't put you in a situation like that. And you have to keep speaking life into yourself if you are in a situation like that so you can encourage yourself and tell yourself that you deserve better. Know that you're beautiful and that you're smart and that if you're waiting on God, God's not going to make you share a whole bunch of women, share a God with a whole bunch of women. He's going to have you have somebody in your life that's supposed to be there. You don't have to, break a hip trying to twitch just to get some guy's attention. You don't have to put on the 6-inch heels. You don't have to be flipping your hair around. You don't have to learn all of these moves, flipping and tucking and jumping and doing twirls and jumping through hoops and all of the other stuff that you think you got to do to get this guy's attention. You just have to be yourself, and the guy who God has for you is going to see you. He is going to notice you. And I know you probably like it feels like you're invisible. You're invisible to the wrong people. And that's a good thing because the crap that you had to put up with all of this stuff in the world, oh my gosh, you should be praising and thanking God because you don't know what his thing is, his Achilles heel. You don't know what that thing is that he struggles with, that vice, and you can't go up against a vice like that. So you might be thinking on the outside everything looks good, but you have no idea what kind of horror or, he double, that you would have to go through with this guy that you supposedly want so badly. And you're pouring all this attention in, and then you get into a relationship. What are you going to do when you get him? He's always going to be like that. He's never going to pay attention to you the way that you want. He's never going to compliment you the way that you want. He's never going to make time for you the way that you want because if he's not making time for you in the beginning, he's never going to make time for you for the rest of your life. So are you okay being second choice, third choice, fifth choice forever? And if the answer is no, then why are you doing the most to try to get this guy's attention? You have to let it go. I know it's hard. I know it is really hard, especially since it seems like it's slim pickings. That's what the world keeps telling you, but it's not. There's an abundance of great guys out there. You just haven't met them yet. And if you keep on thinking with the scarcity mindset, it's going to be really slim chance that you're going to meet them within the next year or so. You're really going to have to be intentional with your life to stay focused on God and allow Him to allow that person to be a part of your life. You need to be intentional. I keep saying that because we keep on doing like all of these things to fill time that really mean us no good. It's not towards our purpose, it's nothing. It's just something to make us look busy. But when you're being intentional, you're already full. Even if you have an extra hour, that's good. You doing something for God is everything that you should be doing. Every day I try to make sure I'm serving in some sort of way. I'm helping somebody. If something is toxic or it's not helping me, I try to remove myself from the situation. I want only things that fill me in my life or that I can help with by being intentional or serving. That's what I want to do in my life every day. I don't want to make anybody feel crappy. I don't want to make any person feel badly. I want people to feel as beautiful as they are, to feel as secure as they are because God is their security. I want them to know that everything is going to be okay. And please, like I know it's close to Valentine's Day. I might post this today. I don't know. It might come out on 2/13 or something like that just to try to give people hope because I don't want you to just settle for that guy that likes you that you're not really interested in. I don't want you to settle for the guy who's a sweet guy but will never treat you the way that you're supposed to be treated. He's never going to respect you or communicate with you like and feel comfortable enough communicating with you about anything. He's never going to make time for you. Like I know it sounds harsh. I know it's heartbreaking because you really want this to be the guy, but it's not the guy if you have to do all of that to get him. I promise you that. I promise you that God would never have you drain yourself and not have any energy for your purpose just to be with some person. And you really have to be careful about idolizing a relationship or a person over your purpose and your self love. If you feel like you need someone that badly, you're not ready. Spend some time, like pick up some self care, self help books, hire a life coach, do whatever it is that you need to do to build yourself up because you need it. You need to be speaking life into yourself every day. Every time you get a negative thought, you need to be reading the Bible, praying to God, and or you need to be saying you are beautiful, you are smart, you are worthy, you are all the things God created you to be. You are the head and not the tail. You are above only and not beneath. No weapon formed against you should ever prosper. No enemy, no person who seems like they're a good person but is not a good person, no person that comes into your life unintentionally before God is able to remove them, no person, place, or thing is ever going to be able to stop what God has for you. That's why when you see someone with someone else and you're like, oh, I should be with this person, or even if God said this is your husband, you don't need to go up in competition with this person. All you need to do is just be you. If God says that this is your husband, he is going to let that man know that you are his wife. Do not, do not try to rush things and tell the guy ahead of time because there could be some things that God's trying to do on the inside of him before he is ready to be with you. And you don't want anything prematurely because it's going to be disastrous. The relationship that could be happy, that could be healthy, that could be, an example for the kingdom could end up being an example for Satan, saying, see, this is why you shouldn't be faithful. This is why you shouldn't be believing in God for a relationship or a person because it's going to be like this. And it's not. You knew what you did. You know you rushed into things. You know that you didn't wait how God told you to. And if you're being intentional, even when it doesn't make sense to you, if God is telling you to wait, you need to wait. Do whatever it takes. Like pick up another hobby, do other things because it's going to happen exactly the way it's supposed to. It's so funny because I met this decent person and I wasn't ready at the beginning and I tried to rush into it. And ever since I try to rush into it, we miss each other. Every week, every month, whatever it is, we'll go somewhere. He'll be there, and then I'll come 15 minutes later. He will be ready. I will not be ready. I'll be ready. He will not be ready. And I don't mean this like I'm trying to make myself seem like one of those people, but I'm just saying in general. Like I will be like, oh yeah, I'm totally ready. And it's not that I'm having a conversation with this person. It's just kind of like vibes or whatever. And then the other person will seem like they're ready. And I'll just be like, I just learned that I'm controlling or I got this thing that I need God to break off of me. Like I cannot be. And then I guess because I seem like I'm disinterested, even though I am, then he's like, oh, she's just not interested in me. And so I'm just, yeah, it's one of those things. But that person is it doesn't matter. It's just a story that I'm telling you because I think it's important for you to wait for God, no matter what it is that you're doing in your life. And when God is telling you to do things in your life, it's not going to make sense to other people. So don't go and tell people, oh, yeah, God said this is my husband, because it's not their business. And you don't want other people in your house with you. You want to make sure that you have that privacy so that when you're communicating, when you're going through things, you'll be able to work it out together instead of having everybody else's opinion in your mind. Or them to bring up things 3 months later after you guys have already reconciled and got over the situation. And so, in conclusion, during this season, Valentine's Day season, even whatever season it is that you're in, you're in this waiting season with God, allowing to break things off of you, allowing Him to be able to use you for the kingdom to serve, for you to serve, to be intentional, to be in your purpose or whatever else it is that you need to do. And when the time is right, God will allow you to meet the person. He will allow you to have the job, to allow you to be able to do whatever it is that He's promised you because He's a God that He cannot lie. And He would never promise you something that He doesn't have for you.